All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our meeting for this week. We have our guest presentation is going to be Charity from TRIO Services and Student Support Services. She's going to share some information with you guys. I'm just going to mute it. We're also going to record it so that way you guys can watch it later on YouTube if you have to leave or you can't watch the video right now. So we will turn it over to her now and she will share with us.
All right. Thank you, Heather. Well, as Heather mentioned, my name is Charity Lowe, and I am one of 2 academic advisors for the TRIO Disability Support Services program on campus. TRIO Disability Support Services, also referred to as TRIO DSS, is one of 7 TRIO programs here on campus. I know you mentioned student support services, so that's one of the others. Most of the remaining 7 are pre-college TRIO programs. Any of the purpose of TRIO programs is to provide supplemental academic support and resources to empower disadvantaged and first-generation limited income students and also students with disabilities to persist and graduate from the university. My presentation today is basically going to provide you information about the services that we provide in comparison to that of the Office of Disability Services, which we are often confused with. And with that information, we hope that you are able to share it with the first-gen student population here on campus and spread the word for us. So as Disability Support Services implies, we focus on providing free academic support to undergraduate students that have learning, physical, and psychological disabilities. These happen to be permanent disabilities that have potential to impede on the student's learning experience, and it's regardless of the severity of their disability. Some disabilities come in waves and can have different effects, different semesters. And some of them can be non-existent for the most part of their college degree. However, we are here for those individuals to provide support when and if they need it. Let's see. Some of the common disabilities that we see here in DSS is anxiety, like test anxiety. We have students with audio, visual, and verbal impairments that we deal with quite frequently. Attention disorders, emotional and physiological disorders, even some disabilities that were induced by injury. Has everyone, well, I guess they're kind of muted. I'm interested to know how many of you have heard of disability support services.
Oh, they can unmute and talk. I just wanted them to mute just in case they had noise in their house or whatever.
Cool. So not everyone, which is okay, because I have more. So we are similar to the Office of Disability Services. Disability Services, the main difference between us and Disability Services is that they provide more accommodations for students on campus, like note-taking, large print or braille materials. They have wheelchairs and an escort service around campus. TRIO DSS, on the other hand, we provide the academic support services. Let's see, we are only capable of serving 115 students each year, whereas disability services can provide services potentially to the whole campus. So we're a little bit limited. And we do collaborate frequently with the Office of Disability Services to ensure that students with disabilities are getting the full benefit, the accommodations and the academic support that they need to be successful here on campus.
Debbie did say that she heard about the services through Shocker Blast emails.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
So if to like use Trio DDS, you have to be in Trio to use those services?
Yes. So that's kind of a loaded question. So when you join DSS or Disability Support Services, you automatically join the TRIO programs. Now, you are not a member of the other 6 TRIO programs, but you are a TRIO member, if that makes sense. It would just
okay. It's like the only reason I asked is like to like promote that, like because like I'm a transition mentor, and
okay.
to promote that, like your service to other students, how should I properly do that? Because like we promote disability services, like if you broke your leg or blah blah blah, like you can do escorts, whatever. But like you're like how you guys do it, like it's different. I just wanted like clarification, like how to promote your service, I would say.
Right. We generally put the TRIO in front of it because it helps students to not confuse us with the Office of Disability Services. You don't have to use TRIO because if there are students, which there are many out there, that have participated in other TRIO programs, that will kind of confuse them. I guess it just depends on your audience. Usually,
it's mainly like new freshmen, like new students.
Okay. It might be a good thing for you to distinguish. I would leave TRIO out because a lot of the incoming freshmen have also participated in TRIO programs, which confuses many of them. As long as you make the comparisons and contrasts between DSS and the Office of Disability Services, I think they should grasp it pretty well.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, yeah, it's difficult, but just because we're always confused. All right, is there any other questions that I missed? I see 6 chats down there. Nope, okay. All right, so some of the services that students would receive through disability support services would include one-on-one academic advising. Now, this advising definitely does not take the place of their college advising. We are supplemental to that and provide, additional services and support for the students that their college advisors don't always have the time to devote to. We also provide assistance with communication between faculty and staff members, information about registering for classes, assistance with financial aid information and the appeals process should they need to do that, career exploration and preparation, assistance with graduate school planning. A lot of other programs on campus provide similar services, but we're all a little different in what we provide. We also have the one-on-one tutoring, access to adaptive computer and equipment, and a small computer lab that we have reserved for the students in our program. Study skills and financial literacy, developmental activities and workshops throughout the semester, textbook lending, and we do have scholarships that are specific to the students in our program only. TRIO Disability Support Services is funded by the Department of Education, as is all of the TRIO programs. And so because of that, there is an application process for students to enter into the program.
Debbie
Yes.
asked a question. She said her microphone's not working on her
Sorry.
side. She wanted to know if we have applied for the TRIO, how long does it typically take to hear back?
From DSS, right now, it would probably take 48 hours. If you applied today, if I received, assuming we got it before 5 o'clock, one of us will definitely be getting in contact with you first thing Monday morning.
She said, I applied last week, LOL.
Oh no. Where'd she send it to? Debbie.
She's typing in the chat box. She said, let me look at the email real quick.
What happens a lot of times is applicants will send their application to TRIO Student Support Services. And yeah, we see that very frequently.
Nelson, do you work in the disability or do you just work in TRIO?
I'm in the student support services.
Okay,
So
so I guess that's good because maybe after you can share kind of the difference and like the things that your office does, so we can bounce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can do that. Yep, it went to ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would think it normally takes us about a week to process through our applications. So you should be hearing back from one of our processing advisors within a few days. If it's been a week, it should be about sometime next week. You should get an email confirming that we received it and any next steps that need to be taken. But can you give me your last name, Debbie, and I will double check on that, your status?
One thing I would like to mention, sorry, Nelson, didn't mean to cut you off. Students cannot participate in both disability support services and student support services at the same time. Were you getting ready to say something, Nelson?
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So Debbie, after you have heard Nelson's information, I would have you consider, both sides and which program would benefit your specific needs, and go from there. Because we pretty much offer the same services other than the disability support. So, all right. So back to the application process. So you will complete an application. Again, because we're funded by the government, we have to provide evidence of a disability, which sometimes throws applicants and students up. But there are multiple different ways that you can provide that documentation. If you are a recent high school graduate, an IEP that you had during your high school years or even middle school would count as documentation. A letter from the Social Security Administration would work. A letter from your healthcare provider or a counselor would work. And then a lot of the students that we serve are also a part of the Office of Disability Services. And so they have letters and forms that they can provide as evidence to your disability as well. And so we have to have that before we can fully process the application. And then after that, after we receive their application, again, someone will reach out to you, even if we don't have that. but we can't fully bring you into the program until we get all of the documentation that is required. And it does list the documentations on their application for you to, so if there's any question, and if there's any question at any point, you or any other student is, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have surrounding that application. That is pretty much it. From the time that the application is submitted to the time that you actually are able to start receiving services, again, depends on the amount of time it takes for you to get the documentation to us. But if you submit the application today and you have the documentation, we can get it from the Office of Disability Services today, and we can get you services started today. Let's say you need a tutor, we can do it today. So.
And then how long are they allowed to stay inside the program with you guys? Is it till they graduate?
Question. Very good question. Thank you for asking that. So when students join TRIO DSS, they are in the program until they have earned their bachelor's degree. One of the mandates of the Department of Education is that we as professional members follow and track the progress of the students all the way until they graduate. So they are in the program until they graduate.
That's great. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Some students don't like it, but.
Now, let's say a student doesn't like it. Are they allowed to withdraw themselves from the program with you guys at any time?
They are allowed to withdraw. However, we still have to report on their academic progress. So from time to time, even if they have withdrawn, we will contact them or do our best to contact them because the Department of Education wants to know, hey, you were funded to serve this person for their entire undergrad. Tell us what, their progress is. So we will contact them just to see how they're doing with classes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Oh, hey, Lydia.
Hi, Charity. How are you?
Good.
Hi, everybody.
I didn't
Good.
see you pop in.
Yes, I snuck in.
All right. Well, we are located in the Grace Wilkie Annex in room 158. We are here Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I can be reached by email at charity.low@wichita.edu if anyone has any questions, and then you're welcome to contact me via telephone. My direct number is 978-5969. And if you have students that you know of that could use our services, we would greatly appreciate it if you would pass the word on and kind of push them our way.
Hey, Charity.
Yes.
While you're here and Nelson is here,
Mm-hmm.
I just was thinking about this as you were talking, because I think as long as was with TRIO at one time with Upward Bound Math Science,
Mm-hmm.
there's a tendency, and I've done it. When you say TRIO, everyone assumes that's one program.
Yep.
But I think the advantage that we Wichita State have is that we have a multitude of programs. I think when I got here, there were 7, then 9, and I think now we're up to 12, 13 programs. And each one of those are very different.
Right.
And so we've got First Gen Week coming up in 3 weeks. That maybe, I don't know, I say this and I don't know how it would happen, but to give an opportunity for TRIO and to maybe do a virtual session. That maybe we could bring in a moderator that would invite each one of our college-based programs, our McNair, DSS, SSS. So those programs on campus that are serving specifically the college students, that would give an opportunity for each of you to kind of share the who we are, what we do specifically. Because someone might say, well, I want to do SSS because that's who got their attention, right? But there may be things that you are all doing in DSS that might serve them a little bit better, right? Because of their specific needs. Because as you said, they can't be in both programs, right? And unless they specifically tell you, at least this was true with UBMS, with the high school students, they couldn't be in another program if they were already in UBMS and then they came in and said, I want to drop. They could drop, but until that, we still had to serve them and no one else could serve them. So maybe I'm just thinking about that, and I'm just talking out loud, thinking about it with you guys, if that was something maybe you would all be interested in, and then I could connect up with Ashley Cervantes and McNair and see if that was maybe something, if we find a time during that first Gen celebration week that you all might be interested in participating, maybe an hour-long session, and literally just hitting those highlights of who you are, what benefits you offer, how long are they a member, and then how you still continue to support them.
I would definitely be interested, and I think that's a very good idea. Just
because I like that you're on here today. Yeah, I love that you're on here today, and I know Nelson's on here each meeting. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea because honestly, like, even I still get confused with some of the programs because we have so many.
Right. And guys, that's rare across the nation. It's very rare. And I think what we're gaining is some momentum when we say first gen. And then we start talking about, well, who's doing what with first gen? And then heck, I find out new services, I think at least once a year, someone else is doing something new. Yeah. What we try to do is build that hub with the first gen coordinating council so that we can share those services out with the students. We've not done a really great job, but we're working on it. We're staying consistent and trying. And at some point it'll get really slick and it'll be cool and everybody's like, man, Wichita State's got it going on. But even though we might not be doing it at top-notch level, we're still doing a lot more than many other institutions are doing. Not to say we don't have lots of work to do, we do. But I just wanted to spit that out there real quick. And I tell you guys, I appreciate you sharing that here today and that I had an opportunity to sit in.
Well, thank you.
I do have one more question from Debbie. She wrote, it might make sense when I read it to you. She said, is the services provided for first gen students basically what TRIO service provides? The way she worded it before was
first gen program basically.
Is the first gen program basically the same program, or is this different? I didn't know that we had a first gen program.
I think she's talking about the first gen. I know there's a, like, under the first gen coordinating council, they have like a first gen kind of program, I believe. But TRIO is kind of would be separate from that. TRIO provides more direct services. I think like Charity was saying, the different services of advising and, school supplies and support. What the first gen group, I think, is more of a social group, just to keep more students, different resources on campus. Like, I think the first gen coordinating council would provide us that information, like provide information about our programs as well. Social events, and I think that would be the difference between those two.
She said that makes sense. So basically the coordinating council has like the Keep First Gens in school, and they connect you with services that are throughout the campus.
Connect you with TRIO DSS or SSS or McNair, or whichever other resources you might need.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know I get emails from Kay and Lydia whenever there's a potential of a new first gen, and I send out an extension of offer for them to connect with the student organization, us. So I didn't know if that was something that was inside your guys' network also. So that's good.
Mhm. We're still working on like the exact logistics of how every program works together, but that's kind of the overall gist.
Awesome. And then Debbie, Lydia said she had to jump off, but she also left you her email, and I typed in the email for Charity in the chat box for you also, so you have both of those. But she said that it did make sense and it answered her question, I think.
Okay. And yeah, just shoot us questions if you have them later as well. I hope that answered it kind of.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. Feel free to contact me at any time and send those students our way.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Nelson, did you want to share what Trio Services is? So
Yeah.
she has like a bigger picture.
Yeah. I can, so trios is for, I hate like using the word trio before it because it just makes everything more confusing. But so student support services, we are a supplemental advisor like DSS, but we more focus on getting like different supplies to students, like where DSS would have special connections for and a focus on students with disabilities. We accept students with disabilities, but we generally like try and move them towards DSS because they have a few more focused resources there and a stronger connection to the other disability service on campus. But we provide things like we have a textbook library for our students. We're allowed to check out, we check out laptops for per semester. We do free printing in our computer lab. Sorry, I should really know all these things better because I do the recruiting for us. Actually, I've got an example of, have these like nice new Surface Pros that we give out to our students. They're very nice, and you can take those out for a semester. We also do academic advising. A lot of times it's easier to come see one of our advisors because I'm sure you've noticed that advisors and like college advisors have a lot of caseloads, and sometimes it's very hard to get in to see them. And we can do a lot of things, same things that they can, and we generally have lower caseloads, so we can see people. We also do what's called, I don't know if there's an actual word about it, but it's like an all around life advising is what I kind of call it. We can help find daycare services, help you apply for government welfare services, housing. It even helps students like actually fill out job applications and do job searches. Pretty much anything that might be in your way of being successful at college, like we can help you with, or we'll find an outside resource that can help you. And that's a lot of the same things that DSS does, but they have a higher focus on students with disabilities.
For your library, I have a couple GRE books that I used this last semester that I'm not going to need anymore. Do you guys take those?
Yeah, we do. We take donations as well. So
Awesome. Well, I have books for you then.
Okay,
And
cool.
it looks like Debbie, maybe she lost service or something, but that's okay because we're recording it and she can watch it.
Yeah.
And if she logs back in. Yeah, no, I've got like 2 GRE books. I've got a couple other textbooks that I can donate that might help
Yeah,
out.
we'd love to have those. Always help somebody else.
Yeah, yeah. And
But
then
you can't really do much with the textbook once you know you're done with the class. Maybe
right,
get $5 for it.
exactly. Well, I mean, I guess we could end the recording and then talk about, since it's all executive people on here, we could talk about a couple business things.
Yeah.
So I'm
Um,
gonna end the
I
recording.
actually go ahead and end it first.
Second, if I can.